where President William Ruto has defended the new university funding model. The president said under the new university funding model, the students have been put in 5 bands. Speaking during a town hall meeting, Ruto said the banding in the new funding model existed way before. The president said that he has added 1 band to the 4 bands that existed before to make them 5 to ensure no student is left behind in their quest to get higher education. At least 134,000 students applied for funding and 26,000 appealed because they had been placed in the wrong band and they did not belong to.
What was so wrong with the old funding model that we could not sit down and amend it? Because even a constitution of a country, you just don't wake up one day and bring a new constitution. We always go and say, hii clause imetufinya kidogo kama wananchi. We go to the parliament, they amend it, and they take it to the president to assent and sign it. So I feel we should go back to the old funding model, honorary degree at Baraton University. And there was one picture that really took my attention. I know most of you saw the picture. There was a little girl called Naomi who was in the midst of graduates, and he was there admiring all the graduates, the beautiful gown. Then I asked myself, why does this new funding model want to kill the dream of that young girl of one day graduating?
Any student who attends a national school has 85% chance of joining a university. In other words, I'm telling you that 85% of all students who go to a national school go to university. Only 10% of students who go to a day school have a chance to go to university. So when we find a child who has gone to a day school in some rural place, we give them a leg up, because it means they have to work extra hard to be able to attain the same grades. Because in many of those institutions, as I told you, Felix, they don't have laboratories. Many of them have very inadequate number of teachers. This is one hell of a conversation we must have. We cannot continue as a nation to have an education system that shuts out millions of the children of the poor. I don't know how to put it. It's as blunt as that. If you look at the curve of students in our universities, the children of the poor are absent.
Mr. President, my first question, and one of the biggest questions my people have been asking me, is why the rush? Why the rush in implementing a model that has a lot of technicalities? Because we are usually given a lot of promises. We will come to forums such as this, but we know that very little of it will be implemented. And Mr. President, we also know that corruption is the biggest public expenditure.
It is something that was very clearly thought out. And you said something like, we make promises that we never keep. Let me tell you, this is one commitment I made. The universities are here. The vice chancellors are here. They can tell you the commitments I made on this model were delivered last year, and it is making a difference in our universities. That is the reality. You did say that corruption is a big problem. And I agree with you, 100%. Corruption is a big problem. And I want to thank the university leadership, because part of the corruption that has been going on is on even the money that we give to universities. We decided that we are going to go using technology. I'm very happy that the university leaders accepted that we use technology. Unfortunately, our secondary schools and primary schools took us to court. They still want to deal in cash.
Your Excellency, you've said time and again that this new funding model is student-based. Well, my question is, why is it that students from private universities are only given loans as opposed to scholarships, just like it is in public universities, yet these students are all from taxpayers of this country?
And because we value the fact that even those in private universities are also Kenyan students and their parents are taxpayers. That is why we haven't shut the door on them. We have said we're going to make public resources available to those students as loans, the same way we are making public resources as loans available to students in public universities.
So, you've spoken about cybers. In my local area, the next cyber you normally travel close to about 46 kilometers. I believe you've been there. Ama namna gani? So, mine is to ask on these persons that live in marginalized areas if they will be able to access internet and all this connectivity for them to be able to be put along this new funding.
If you speak to your member of parliament, we have already agreed with them that they will set up an ICT hub in every ward in Kenya. We have changed the law. The CDF law that was used for just building schools, we changed the law